Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. This is Confessions of an Actor. I am your host, Tamara Abrosimova, and I am here with Sarah Gibbons. Sarah, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me about you. So you're from Alaska. What was it like living there? Like, how's the acting community there? Like, tell me about you.
So I was born and raised in a small town in Alaska called Soldotna, which is so random that, you lived in Soldotna. You literally lived there as soon as I got out of there. It's so funny because being there, being from a small town, like just growing up there, I always knew I wanted to create whatever it was. I was just definitely like an artistic kid. I actually, more than anything, wanted to be a fashion designer forever. And I loved just weird clothes. Like I was always in with the trends. And like a lot of people in my high school would be like, what are you wearing? Like, because they would, Alaskans were just like North Face jacket and jeans. Like they're very, very like straight by the books, plain. Yeah. Where I was just kind of very out there, and I did theater and I loved theater. But I never thought that that would be my thing. And then my senior year, I did a play again and I loved it. And a part of me was like, oh, you know what? I kind of want to try like acting. So I knew I was going to Phoenix because my family lived out there. And I literally left a week after I graduated high school, and I moved to Arizona. And from Arizona, like, when I first got my car, within 2 weeks, I went to an acting class.
Yeah.
And the lady, she was a method coach, and I fell in love with it. Like, I fell in love with it. Like, especially early on, if you get to a point where you are able to really get in the moment and you just get a little taste of that, where it's like, you have that out of body experience of like, you don't even feel like, you don't even know what's happening because you're so connected to a piece. To me, it felt like a high. I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. And it's even hard for us actors to always be in those moments. But when you get those moments, it's like so rewarding, more than anything. Because you just feel like, oh my God, I really was that character.
Yeah. No, it's
but really in Alaska, like I said, I really just didn't really love it when I was there. But now looking back, I have such a gratefulness from where I came from, because my family was like awesome with the hiking and the camping and the outdoor stuff and the fishing, and like all of those memories are definitely my roots. And I realize like I'll miss all that stuff when I'm out in like a big city. So it's interesting because now it's like I have a way bigger appreciation, because like the land is so beautiful and clean and the air is so crisp, and it's a really beautiful place. It really is. I will say the winters were tough. Those winters were really tough because it was really dark for the most part. And
I remember. I'm like,
they're hard.
They are.
They're so hard. Like, and now when I go back for like Christmas or something, I'm like, oh my God, this is so depressing. Like, I don't know how my family's still back there, to be honest, because I'm like, but I guess when you just are there, you don't think about it as much. But I remember when I had came out to Arizona, I thought it was so crazy because it was the summer. And summers there is like midnight sun.
Yep.
I was like, wait, it gets dark here? Like at night? I didn't realize like it really is so different. I guess the time changes are normal, like day to night. Where, because Alaska's so extreme in the winter and it's so extreme in the summer. So summers to me mean like long sun, long days. Yeah, I can tell you miss it, definitely. It's the best thing ever. People don't realize. They're like, how do you sleep in the summer? I'm like, you don't. You go out and have fun.
Yeah.
You're boating.
Exactly.
You're
Like,
camping, you're having so much, like it is unreal. So I feel now a way bigger appreciation for it than I
mhm,
was when I was there. And I think you never realize what you have until, you
it's
experience
gone.
something else. Yeah. So it's just like anything, and it's weird because like I have a younger cousin who reminds me so much of me at her age. I'm like, oh, just hold on. Just hold on. Like, I know you want out. I know you want to like go do things. And I'm like, it's really not that bad. It's not that bad.
Mhm. Yeah, and did you like have big acting community back in Alaska?
No, not really. Like, I mean, there was some theater and there
Mhm,
was theater in high school, but not like serious. It wasn't like
mhm.
anybody was like, oh, I want to be on Broadway or like, in the movies. I mean, I think it's just, like I said, it wasn't really something I had thought about
Yeah.
until like my senior year. I don't know if you know who this lady is. She's a talent agent in LA. Wendy Elaine Wright. She's
Yes, like the
yeah,
curly
she's
hair.
yes. So I was looking up my whole senior year how to be an actor and all this stuff, and she was like, get a class. So that was the
Mhm.
first thing I did when I went to Arizona. I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then, like I said, I had to see if I even liked it first. But once I had those moments and things were just kind of connecting in my head, I was like, oh my God, this is so fun.
Mhm.
This is so fun. Like, and it's so different than theater, like when you're in high school, because obviously theater that's like real production is different. But high school theater, it's kind of cheesy. You're just having fun. Like, it's not like serious. It's nothing like, professional, but it's just fun.
Yeah, no, I miss theater. I
I miss it too so much. And it's hard because I have a agency that's kind of like no on theater. I don't know if
oh,
this same thing on yours, because they are always wanting you to be open for film
oh
and
yeah.
TV. And I'm like, but I
Fine.
like am yearning for a play, honestly, because there's nothing better than just being in front of a live audience.
Yes, it's that another kind of high, like basically, like
It is. And I
um
feel like that's the best training you'll ever get, ever,
mhm.
is being live on theater, because you mess up, you just got to keep rolling with the punches. Like,
Yep.
you cannot just, yeah, you're live. There's nothing you can do. There's no cuts.
Yeah. Do you remember the first role you booked?
Yes, I do. So it was in Arizona. It was for a student film, and it was called The Breakup.
Mhm.
And I thought it was so fun because we went to like these different locations and stuff. It's kind of a smaller project, but it was really cool. Like, I remember that being my first one and being like, this is really awesome. And the locations were
Mhm.
really beautiful. So it was fun. Um, it was very, very, very low budget, obviously. Um, but there was really just me and the guy as an actor. Like, there was like no extras. There wasn't really like any main supporting characters. It was just me and him. So I think it was a good introduction into it.
Yeah. And what was your most memorable experience from the set that you worked
Um,
on?
I would say there's two really fun experiences. One is how I met my best friend Carly.
Mhm.
It was in 2019. We did a feature together, and we, as actors, you're like stuck with each other for hours.
Yeah.
We were like literally in the same room for like 3 days, just waiting until it was our turn or whatever. But we had so much fun, and we had so much like similarities, connections, and she is like my really, really good friend to this day. I like love her and I adore her, and she works so hard. Like, we're always very encouraging to each other. So to me, that's like probably one of the best things that's ever happened,
Mhm.
because she's a gem. She's true, and we always need people from our community as
Yeah.
close friends, because we get it more than our friends or our family. They're not
Mhm.
going to understand. They're going to be like, oh, just give up. And you're like, oh,
We're like, when am I gonna see you on television?
right. They'll always do things like that, and you're just like, it's so unsupportive. And I've learned to just not really tell them anything. Like,
Yeah.
as sad as that sounds, because it's like, we don't know, like there's always last minute changes. So like, let's say we book something really big, and maybe they'll drop that character or whatever happens.
Or if
I
they'll
mean,
cut
or
the
the
scene
production,
or
or the production's down, or like they're not going to do it because of COVID or whatever the issue is.
yeah.
There's always something. So I always wait until after I know everything's done, and then I'll say something, because it's like, oh my God, it's heartbreaking, because you're like, you get so excited, you get your hopes up. That might sound depressing, but I'm like, I'm just gonna wait.
It's reality. It's like what we have to deal with. So
we do, and we deal with a lot of rejection. We deal with a lot of, oh, this was good, but only if you did this, or only if you were this, or whatever it is. We deal with, our skin is so tough, I feel like.
yeah.
We have very tough skin as actors, because and like, I think I saw something that you posted, like a lot of times they don't even want to pay us.
Yes. I actually been Googling yesterday at like 2 a.m. No, I'm sorry, it was today at 2 a.m. how to start a petition, because I want like start a petition where like people have to pay actors, like whether they're just starting or if they've like even non-union actors, like people have to pay actors, like when we can't afford the rent on copy and credit. But yeah, I'm sorry.
And they don't understand, like, okay, let's say you book an indie feature and you're not getting paid for it. It's like, okay, I'm going to be out of my job for so many weeks. And you expect me to just do this all for free? Like, no, like that's just it is really insane, especially for those long projects where they really need you for such a long period of time.
Yeah.
Or they'll say, oh, we'll stipend your travel, but they're not going to pay for the days. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Like it should be illegal, man. I mean, even waiters are getting, well, in Georgia and in South Carolina, like even waiters are getting paid like $2 an hour. I'm like,
it's crazy. It should be illegal. I would say also my second favorite thing was the SAG film I had done this year. It's for a horror film, but it was
I know which one.
Yeah, it was the makeup artist. She did the FX makeup, and when I tell you, I literally felt like I was in pain.
Yeah.
Even the next day, like, because I'd washed it all off. I literally was walking like with a limp, and I was thinking like my chest hurt and everything because the bruises looked so real. It was the coolest experience, because it was like, I'm obviously fine, it's makeup, but to anybody's eye, it would look like I'm in like pain.
Yeah.
Like I'm about to die. That was a really cool experience, and everyone back there was so kind, so lovely, and it was just a really easy, fun set. And that's the thing is like when you work with really cool people, luckily for the most part, I've really never had a bad experience.
Good.
Not like a truly, like maybe one, I can think of one actually, but other than that, really, I mean, it's never been like so bad. Or and usually the actors are all really, really sweet, and it's really fun. Like we're just all coming together and having a good time kind of thing. Like we're all here to create something.
Yeah, exactly. And can you tell me more about the horror film that you did?
Yeah, so for that, I was just in 2 scenes, and basically I'm about to be killed off, and preparing for that scene was, it was so intense, because I worked with my method coach, and I gained some weight from that scene because it was so heavy. Even after that scene, I went through a depression, truly.
Oh my God.
Because it was like every night I would journal as that character. I felt so close to her, and knowing that she was literally about to go through so much pain and suffering, it was crazy. And then like I would listen to classical music before I went to bed, because he kills me with classical music playing in the background. So a lot of the things, like it was the most depressing time, which sounds really weird, but it was really awesome at the same time. but it was just really just to make that character so real,
Mm-hmm.
real life. And as soon as I got into the basement where, you know, I'm hanging and he's about to kill me,
Yeah.
I lost it. I bawled my eyes out for like 3.5 hours.
Oh my God.
I made sure that they bonded me tight because I was like, this is not a comfortable thing. So I said, don't make it comfortable for me. I'm going to be as real to the scene. And to be honest, the biggest thing I thought about was, how scary and sad is it that like women have gone through this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I really thought of it more of like a sex trafficker or just anything like, and think about, you know, and I also had a handkerchief in my mouth and it would like literally drool and all the saliva would just come and they'd have to like replace it like every like, I think 3 times or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I just was drooling so hard because I was wailing. Like I was just thinking in my head, oh my God, no one can hear me.
Yeah.
Like, and I thought about that situation and it made me so, it was almost like I was feeling that pain and it was just like, oh, it was really hard, but it was really, really, I was proud of myself. I know I did a really good job because that's never going to be an easy thing. Because when it comes to like death and really hard scenes like that, we as actors have to be uncomfortable. Yeah. There's no way around it. You cannot make that like comfortable. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm gonna make it as real as I can. But it was an awesome experience. And then, you know, after you get off of a SAG film set, you're like, I want to do this. Like, I just want to keep being on set. You're just so excited and inspired again, and all you want to do is just be back on set. That's all. I'm like, I don't even care what it is. I will do it. Like,
the set high after. Yeah, no, I get exactly what you're talking about.
It is a high. It's all a high. Like, it's just like it, and it's just, I feel like it's our soul telling us like, this is where we're supposed to be. Yeah. You're doing what you love. I'm doing what I love. It's like, and I really believe like what's meant for you is meant for you, and what's meant for me is meant for me. And yeah, I'm just one of those people that I feel like it's all gonna be it's your journey. You know what I mean? Like we will all be there. You know what I mean? We will all get there. Like the people that keep pushing and have resilience, they're the ones who are gonna get there. I think it's the people who give up easily, who say, oh, this is just not for me. I mean, those people, it sucks because it's like, if you want it this bad, you just got to keep going. You just do. It just comes with the territory.
There's no plan B. It's only the plan. Like, because I had some people ask me, oh, well, if this doesn't work out, do you have a plan B? I'm like, well, I'm going to become a serial killer. No, I'm just kidding. No. No, I'm like,
she's
no.
Like, I know from Dexter.
I learned. No. Yes, audience, we're totally kidding. I'm just saying, disclaimer. Yes. Okay. But yeah, like, and I tell them like, no, there's no plan B. This is, I mean, of course, like I do side hustles, but that's because I'm interested in like writing and doing this podcast, and I forgot what else I do, but yeah, no, like acting
just
is like,
so many things.
Yeah, like acting, this is for us. We don't have plan B because this plan, we know it's going to work because we push hard.
Yeah. Yes, Alaska girls. Alaska Russian lady, yes. She knows. So, and I was gonna say, especially like with your journey to like, is your family in the States?
Yes, my mom is, my cousins and aunt and uncle, they're back in Ukraine. And
okay,
that's it.
And see, and it's hard being away from your family, like, so, and I can relate with that because my family's on Alaska, and people don't realize like Alaska is not like a trip here to like Nevada. It's like, it's far. It's like a 9.5 hour flight. And I'm like, it's also very expensive to go to Alaska. So
Yeah.
for like the holidays and stuff, sometimes I have to like say, oh well, we'll do a FaceTime. Like there's been so many years where I'll do that, and it's like those are the sacrifices I make, you know. And I think a lot of us actors have to, because like I said, if you know that this is your journey and your path, nothing, and it's heartbreaking at the same time, because you're like, dang, I miss my family, I miss my hometown, but yeah,
It's gonna be worth it very soon.
it will be worth it. Yes. And to push yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So my next question is, who is the ideal director and actors you want to work with?
Oh, that's such a good question. Okay, so I've always loved Tim Burton's films.
Yes.
Love. You don't understand. It's an obsession. Obviously, I love Johnny Depp too. So I would always love to make just and I love fantasy. Just a fun fantasy film. Oh my God. Even if I'm evil, if I'm a good one, whatever it is, like I want to be there. So that's definitely for me. And another actor I do love is definitely Kate Winslet. She's my number one. I don't know if you watched Mayor of Easttown. Oh, it's such a good show. She's a detective. It's really good. But just, it's crazy what she does with her characters. And I'll always love the Titanic, one of my favorite movies. So she's definitely one I would love to work with. Kate Blanchett.
Yes.
Meryl Streep. So I'm like, those are some women I really love. Even Zendaya, I'm like, oh my gosh, sometimes seeing where she's came from, I'm like, and seeing how humble and kind she is and the work she's done, I'm like, those are just the women I really look up to. And for the men, I mean, I definitely Johnny Depp, but maybe even like a Leonardo, like he's great. He just did, what was that show called? Don't Look Up.
Yeah,
that was a great one. So there's just a lot of really, I mean, it's so hard to say, because I think everyone has their own strengths, and it's for what it is, I guess. It would depend on the movie type. And
yeah.
So, but yes, definitely want to be with like the greats. I'm like, oh, that is what I aspire to be with, is with the greats.
Yeah. Oh my God, I was gonna ask you a question. I forgot about it. Oh, which characters do you audition for? What is your type that you audition as?
Oh my gosh, so I always get the mean girl, and that makes my mom so upset. I always get the mean girl. I always get the sexy person, or I'm trying to think, maybe student. But I guess like the roles I would love to do is more of like detective. I'm trying to think of like what my dream really would be, like fantasy, if I'm being honest. It would be like to be this caricature character. Like that's really my dream. If I was like a cool witch, or I mean, to me, that's what acting is. It's play. It's fun.
Yeah, and we get paid for it.
And we get paid for it, and it's supposed to be very fun. So I'm still like a kid in my heart. So, you know, I love Harry Potter. I love that. I love a lot of sci-fi and stuff like that. So I'm like, those are definitely more my genres I would love to play. So putting out in the universe, like that's what I want to do.
Yes. Oh, there's a Harry Potter 20th anniversary.
I'm so ready for it.
What is your house?
What's that?
What is your house?
Oh, I would be, everyone says Hufflepuff.
I mean, I could see that.
Everyone says that, but I want to be a Gryffindor so bad.
You can be a Gryffindor.
I want to be a Gryffindor so bad, because they're so heroic and they're so badass, but I'd probably be a Hufflepuff. Even you said I'd be a... What about you?
I'm a Slytherin, but like
I was gonna say Slytherin.
I mean, green just looks so good on me, but
she's the snake.
whenever I take a test, it's between Gryffindor and Slytherin. So I'm just like, I'm gonna be a Slytherin.
She's like, that's the one I want to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always Hufflepuff. Even you said that. I was like, I always get told you're a Hufflepuff, Sarah. I'm like, no, I'm not.
But I mean, Cedric Diggory was a Hufflepuff, and what was her name? I think Luna is a Hufflepuff.
Yeah, she definitely was. I love Luna.
She's so adorable.
She was hilarious. And Cedric.
Yes. So excited. I'm so excited for Harry Potter.
Oh, I'm beyond excited. I will probably cry. I will probably cry. I also love Emma Watson too. I was gonna say, yes, she's also a really great actress, but also just a really good person. Just a really interesting person, and I always love hearing like any of her interviews.
Yes, and like when she talks about feminism and all those issues, and I like her even more for that.
Yeah, me too. She's definitely like a woman's woman, and that's definitely me too. Like I said, I could name off more female actors than male actors that I would want to work with, because there's just so many females that are just so amazing, and like it's just insane. Also, Anne Hathaway would be another one. Now that I'm thinking of it, I love Anne Hathaway. One of my other favorite movies is The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh yes.
I love that movie. Oh my God. And the clothes are still so cute today.
Yeah. So you moved from Arizona to Atlanta? Is that where you live?
Yes.
What is the life? What is the vibe out there? Like, is it worth moving there with all the self-tapes going on? Like, tell me about it.
So Arizona was a really good place for being 18 and starting off, because, you know, I was a kid and I was just like, coming from Alaska, I never lived anywhere else. So it was like, that was huge to me. Like, I remember when I first got on my first freeway, you don't understand. I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to die. I was like, I remember I was so dramatic in my head because I saw like an exit. This is next hospital this way. And I was like, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
But it was a good transition for sure. But I think Arizona is a beautiful place. And I mean, there's not much as an acting there. I'll tell you this, my first agency out there, they made me pay. You know, that's a scam.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've definitely done my stupidity out there for sure, because there really isn't anything legit in that sense. Maybe there is now, but for the most part, I mean, if you maybe were represented by somebody in New Mexico and lived out there, you'd probably be fine, or in LA. But I definitely don't think it's the ideal place for acting.
Gotcha.
But it was a really fun place to be, for sure.
Yeah. And
there was a lot of great memories.
I mean, Arizona is beautiful. I've been there.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous out there.
Oh, tell me about Atlanta. What's it like living
So Atlanta, I would say I moved out here in 2019, and it was a shock for me, a huge shock, because people out here are like, they're non-filtered. They're very non-filtered. And I'm not used to that, especially from Alaska and then Arizona. Like the West Coast is very like chill, relaxed. Like people aren't really uptight. People aren't really like, they're just like zen. They're smoking their weed. Like they're just not, people out here are just like so kind of aggressive, more assertive. So in a way, like I remember like the salon I work at, like when I first started, I'd literally cry back there, or I'd be like screaming because of a customer, because I couldn't handle all these personalities.
Yeah.
And watching myself grow, even talking to some of the coworkers, they'd be like, Sarah, you really grown up. Oh my God. Because before I just couldn't handle it. I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe this person. How could they act like this with me? But now I've learned like, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a them problem, not a me problem.
Yeah.
And also, if I fuck up, I'm like, I have no problem, saying, okay, I messed up. But like life goes on. It doesn't need to be so serious. But I think there's a lot of strong personalities. So I will say the best thing about me moving to Atlanta was getting me prepared
Mm-hmm.
for different personalities. Now that I've lived here, I'm like, okay, I feel like, and especially working with the public,
Yeah.
I've learned so much. I've learned like the sense of not being so sensitive because
Mm-hmm.
I was too sensitive probably. Like I come home and cry about like random little things and I'm like, oh my God, like now I just let it roll off my back, which is so cool. It's so cool to see the difference. Yeah, because I was just kind of crazy because I would just be very explosive. But I mean, I was pretty young too, so like I said, it's just learning and learning about yourself. Like, hey, there's gonna be millions of different types of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Like, you don't have to dislike them. You don't have to, So just really learning people skills, like
Mm-hmm.
of different types of people. Because, like I said, Arizona, people would never act like that. Like,
Yeah.
and if they did, it would be like a once in a very blue moon, and the whole store would talk about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God. But like, they could not, a lot of them probably could not handle like Atlanta because it's like,
Yeah.
but at the same time with Atlanta is I've met the most realist friends out here, I'd say,
Mm-hmm.
than anywhere
Right.
because there's so many just awesome people, just very kind and just very like thoughtful too, I would say. Very thoughtful. I've
Good.
met more thoughtful people out here, I'd say. Because like I said, everybody's kind of different everywhere. And as far as like the nature goes, I love the greenery.
Yes.
I love the nature. I just love all that stuff. It's beautiful out here. Honestly, sometimes I'm like, I could see myself really like staying out here for a while. Like
Mm-hmm. I mean,
sometimes I'm like, I could settle here. Like, and that sounds weird because I'm the type of person who's like, somebody was like, do you want to go move to Italy tomorrow? I'm like, I'm there. I have no problem moving. Like I actually find it fun to move. So
Yeah. New experiences, new places, like, oh yeah, new people.
New people, yes.
Is there like a special, like a cafe or a restaurant that actors just hang out in Atlanta?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I mean, I'm in Little Five Points, so I mean, I just kind of do. I like it's more artsy out here on
Mm-hmm.
this side. It's very fun. It's very young, so I kind of like the bars and stuff out here. But
Yeah.
I guess that's the small town in me in a weird way. Is I stick to where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like I go to the same gas station. I go to the same store. So maybe it's just the small town in me. Like I don't really venture too much, and I think it's also hard too because COVID
Yeah.
has been the past 2 years and I've been here for 3 years. So I think that's the hard part too, is like I feel like I'm missing out on some things that even I think the Peach Ball drop just canceled for New Year's. And I was like so sad about it. It's like, but I know COVID is just rose again in numbers. So
It's true.
yeah, like it's always something. And we're like, oh no, we're going into another year of this.
We can do this. We've been through this before.
I love your optimism. Because I'm just like, I'm over it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I did not know there was Peach Drop. That's cool. I mean, I saw a Facebook post of it. I'm like, oh, is this a joke? Like, what is Peach Drop? And like, oh, well, okay, Georgia does have a peach symbol. And yeah, is it it's not a giant peach, obviously, but is it like a glass or where is it? Where is this happening?
I forgot where they say it is. My sister told me and I was like, oh, okay. It totally like rolled off like my head though. I was like, oh, okay. Because like where we're going, they were supposed to show the viewing of it.
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, okay, this is cool. And then they were just announced, I think a couple of days ago, it's canceled.
Well,
As of
it's
now, I
okay.
think.
Yeah.
Maybe it's wrong because I heard that from a coworker, so I don't know.
And,
If it happens, then cool. But if it doesn't, I'm sorry.
yeah. Oh, what do you do besides acting?
Oh, so I definitely am a nature person. I love nature still. Like I said, from my Alaskan roots, I feel like I love hiking. I love camping. I love just even going to museums. I like
Mhm.
just doing things like that, just seeing different things. I like learning. Even if I suck, like right now I'm gonna learn how to rollerblade the
Yeah.
first time. And I'm like,
Awesome.
I'm probably gonna be awful, but hey, it's something new, it'll be fun.
Mhm.
So I just like to learn new things, even if I'm not good at them. I try, I have fun.
Yeah.
Um, and then like I just love hanging out with friends and drinking coffee, and I like to read. I love to spend time with just my cats. Like
Mhm.
I'm very much an introvert more than anything.
Yeah.
Like there's times
That's
where I just don't want to be around people because I'm like, oh, I just want to be home and sleep. But then sometimes I get like this burst of energy where I'm like, oh, I want to go do all the things. Like,
Mhm.
but I think definitely something I'm really wanting to do for 2022, but I need to find somebody who's more out there with me, is I want to go skydiving. But I have no one to go with because everyone's like, hell no. I am not doing that. You have ideas. If you want to go, I need somebody to go with. Like I really want to do it. Like there's something about that that just sounds awesome.
I want to, so I would love to go. I also promised myself that if something happens, my kids have to be there. I have to bear a child first and husband. But I know a lot of young people, they go and they're fine. So, I mean, yeah.
You're like, I don't
Why
know, but I
not?
want to.
I don't know, but I want to.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think I mean, if you're really down, I'm so serious. I
Yeah.
need somebody to go with because I'm like, everyone I know is like, hell no, I'm not doing that. Like that sounds terrifying. And also, I kind of want to bungee jump. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
There's some really random things where I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like, I just want the adrenaline. I don't know why,
Mm-hmm.
but that just sounds amazing to me. That
Yeah.
sounds very fun.
I tried zip lining a few years ago. It wasn't like from a very high angle, but it was fun just, holding on like la la la, I'm flying.
And to feel it, like that was just, oh my God, like I feel like that just sounds like an out of body experience, like
Yeah.
so surreal.
Yes. I actually, you mentioned skydiving. I tried, I bought this like a cardboard VR. I tried skydiving. It was good. I liked
That
it.
is so cool.
Yeah.
Now it's like, let's go do the real thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be nudging you now.
Good.
I'll
Nudge
be like,
me.
are you ready yet? Because I really want to go. My dad, unfortunately, he has like a really bad knee, but he went skydiving like 4 times in his life.
Oh, wow. Oh,
He
that's awesome.
loves this. He loved to skydive, but he did it when he was younger. I don't think he'd do it now. But I'm like, I wish me and him could do it together. That would be super
Yeah.
cool. But everyone else in my family and like friends are like, no, you're on your own on that one. I'm like, really?
Darn it. Come on, people. Where's is it like in Atlanta, this or like, I mean, outside of Atlanta, or where did you find the
The
skydiving?
skydiving?
Yeah.
I have no idea yet because like I said, I have no one to go with. So I'm
Okay.
like, I haven't even really looked into it, but like I am so, I don't know what it is. It was like last year,
Mm-hmm.
I was craving it. I was like, oh my God, I just want to do this. Like this sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And then this year I'm like, maybe I should just go do it. Like, even if it's by
Yeah.
myself, like I just need to go do it because that just sounds just so unreal. Like, I don't even know. And watching the videos, it looks so exciting and so fun.
Yeah.
It looks like another high, I guess you could say.
We need to get high.
Yes.
High.
The high.
Awesome. And tell me about what your next project is going to be.
So I am doing my first short film. I'm really excited about that. I'm working with one of my friends. He's a director at SCAD, and he was also a film student for a little bit of time in LA. And then I have a friend who's going to produce it in Arizona. So I am in the process of making all the adjustments of writing, and I'm really excited to push myself into something so different. I've never done a short film before, so I think it'll be really exciting. And also, like, I definitely want to show people, and I would love for people who are in the industry to kind of give me real feedback, you know, what would be better, you know. But also I know I'm working with some really awesome people to where I feel like they'll make it really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. I look at other people's, like, you know, first experience, like what's her name? Suzanne, the one we worked with together. She did her first short film. I'm like, oh my God, she has the professional equipment. I feel so bad when I was doing my short films because I only had like one camera.
No, because you did it. Look, you did it though. You did it, because you know what? A lot of people don't even do that. You still got to give yourself like the credit, because you bought us breakfast.
I did. It was a fun day.
That was a really fun day. I always thought I annoyed you guys because I think I was talking like 1,000,000 miles per hour.
No.
And everyone was like, yeah, with their coffee.
No, you're fine. It was kind of early. I felt bad because like we filmed everything so quick and fast, and I'm like, okay, it's like only 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. What should we do? Yeah.
No, like that was actually the fastest set I've ever been on. The fastest, which is really crazy and kind of cool, because it was like, okay. You know, because most of the time you'll get out at like the next day.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun to see it wrap up a little bit faster. It was kind of nice.
Yeah.
So, and I remember going out to South Carolina, like, ooh, that was such an eerie feeling for me.
Yeah.
It was, because I remember it was like so foggy, and obviously because I had never been there either, it was just like, it just felt so eerie. I don't even know the feeling to say. It was so foggy though, and I remember just being like in the middle of nowhere, driving myself, and I was like, I'm terrified. But then also it was really comforting, because I was like, oh my gosh, this girl lived in Soldotna. And she has mutual friends with me on Facebook. Like, what? That was really, I felt like that was like fate in a way, like just to meet each other, because that's so cool. Like, that is, I was just like, wait, what? Of all places, Soldotna.
Yeah.
Because most people, they'll be like, where are you from in Alaska? I'm like, I'll just say the Kenai Peninsula.
Yeah.
Because I already know they won't know where it is.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, where's that? It's a town called Soldotna. Oh, I don't know what that is.
Or yeah, like when I tell people, they're like, oh, so like, do you guys live in igloos, and like, do you guys have schools? What is your money currency? Do you have money currency? And like, and then some people mention Anchorage, and I'm like, well, I lived like 3 hours away from there, like by the ocean. And yeah,
right.
People
and they do think that, and the funny thing is like, yes, it's slower, and it's definitely kind of dated. I don't know if when you go back now, well, for me, because I never lived anywhere else, I was like, it's a dated place. Like, it's not, but but at the same, it's a very dated place. But it's like, also, we have technology, we have phones, like we have cable, we have streaming sites. Like, we're not like. But I have heard some people, like, I've had a few men, they'll try to hit on me, and they'll ask me where I'm from. And they're like, oh, I love an international woman. I was like, wait, what? And then I'm like, you do not know your geography. You don't know your states. like, that's like saying Hawaii isn't a country, isn't a part of the US. But people really don't know. And it's sad because it's out here in Georgia. They really don't know. Or people have said, oh, yeah, because you're from Antarctica. Or, oh, yeah, you're from Australia. I'm like, wait, what? No,
What?
I am not. I don't think anyone's from Antarctica, first of all. And secondly, I don't have an Australian accent.
When I used to live in South Carolina, I worked at this restaurant, and then there was this dumb girl, and she thought Alaska was next to Hawaii. And then my my ex-fiance, he had to say, no, that's how it shows on the map, but it's actually like it's connected to Canada because Alaska doesn't fit on the map. And like he had to explain to her, and she was like, oh, okay, yeah. But I'm like, what? Yeah.
It's so weird. It's so weird how people just really don't. Yeah, they really don't get it. Or I've heard people say, I've met a few clients who've been to Alaska, they've been to Seward and they went to Homer. And they'll be like, but I'm like, oh yeah, so you drove through my town in Soldotna, because they'll drive.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. I'm like, yes. And they're like, no. And I'm like, you have to drive through Soldotna. And I'm like, you literally blinked through my town. I guess it was that unmemorable. Okay, ouch.
It's a beautiful town. I mean,
it is. I do love Homer though, and I do love Seward. So I'm like, I can understand.
Yeah, like Homer is just the mountains and like all these little shops and
yes, I love the spit. Oh, that's so cool.
Cool. Yeah, well, oh my God, thank you so much for doing this podcast. It was really fun.
Thank you for having me. It was good talking to you.
Thank you too.